these right here, so... Oh, we topped it. He cold topped it.
Okay. Gotta get up, yeah.
Eight iron. Oh, he shanked it. Oh, look at that line, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, boy, is he out of sync.
Welcome to the Bogey Boys podcast.
You're joined here by Kevin and Mark, and we've got a bit of a different episode today. We've got Andy Dixon from Golfers CBD, and we've got European Challenge Tour player Daniel Gaunt here to talk about their products and what they're doing in the game. How are we, fellas?
Very well, thank you, and thanks very much for having us on.
No, thanks for joining us. Yeah, we're really interested to hear more about the products and the advantages in the golfing industry.
Yeah, well, we'll talk to Daniel for a second then. Daniel, how long have you been playing golf for, and when did you start using CBD? We can put this in after.
So I've been playing for since I was about 10 basically, but played on the European Tour from 2004. I had a few years off after playing crap, and then 2010 pretty much to 2017 I was playing up on the European Tour, so had a good stint there, but sort of I lost my way with some stress, anxieties, what else, some personal stuff that was well I won't mention, but had a couple of years out and then come back in 2019, and I sort of even though I was winning and stuff like that, I still haven't felt right. And then that's when I contacted Andy about 8 months ago, just before lockdown started, and we've been working with Golf for CBD since then, and my game sort of consistency wise has progressed heaps since using it. I was putting with my eyes closed. I've been putting with my eyes closed for, I don't know, 5-6 years probably, on and off. So just certain times where I'd putt and I'd feel more comfortable. I'd get over a foot putt. I couldn't hold it unless I closed my eyes. But since using the CBD, I've said to Andy that I'm more comfortable with my eyes open again, which is phenomenal for me, to be able to get that sort of feeling back, and knowing that the putting was the best part of my game, and now that is starting to come back, which means, well, hopefully it means I can get back onto the European Tour and start winning again.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
And why do you think that is then? Why do you think you couldn't open your eyes? Because I went through a little stage of closing my eyes, and I'd opened my eyes, and you see like a 25-footer rolling in, and I was shocked every time I was holding putts. And it's the phase for me. But
Honestly, I have no idea, and I suppose if I knew the answers, I probably wouldn't be on the call right now. But it's just one of those things. I think golf is sometimes you have a bad day, or something triggers in your mind where you fluffed the chip or something like that, and then it just sticks with you. And when you get under the pump, you know what it's like. If you've three putted on a green, naturally you're going to leave yourself that 2 or 3 foot of the next hole, guaranteed.
Yeah.
And that sort of it must have just played in my mind, and something just pulled the trigger, and I was gone. I'd get over a chip and I'd be shaking. I'd get over putts and I'd be shaking. My hands would shake. Anxiety. I'd feel like I was nervous the whole way around. Literally the whole way around. I'd have no breath. I'd be gasping for air the whole way around, dry in my mouth, and which was really, really frustrating for me, because I'm still winning tournaments doing that. Like not the big ones, but I did win the Challenge Tour pretty much playing like that, and I've won mini tour events playing like that. And when you say to people that you're putting with your eyes closed, then no, you're not. I said, well, no, I do. And then obviously Sergio's now putting with his eyes closed, so I just went with it. I got to the stage where I was like, you know what, I don't care, because I've seen Jordan Spieth looking at the hole. So everyone's got their different ways of doing things, and if it means having to do that to get the ball in the hole quicker, then I was going with it. It didn't matter. But obviously, ever since I've been using the CBD, the anxieties for me are sort of disintegrating. The shakes have literally disappeared. And when you're not shaking over a putt or a chip, the game's a lot easier.
It strips the enjoyment of the game away as well, doesn't it, Dan?
Yeah.
I had similar issues, boys. I got down to a 5 handicap. This is without playing for money like the pros do. I worked really hard for years and years, fanatical about the game. Got down to a 5 handicap, and then started getting the wobbles over the short putts. And it was so bad that the closer I got to the hole, the worse that the twitches in my hands would become, which was one of the reasons my interest in CBD began. When you're walking onto a green and you're not looking forward to the putting, it completely takes away the enjoyment of the game. And ultimately, that's what all us amateurs are out there for, is to enjoy the game. My background in CBD actually started with my daughter, who has absence seizure epilepsy. Right. So she wasn't getting on with the traditional medications from the NHS. So I heard that CBD was a treatment for epilepsy and decided to start her on that. So I did quite a lot of research. She's benefited immensely from using cannabidiol. And I decided to try some of it myself to see if that would help with the yips that I was suffering from. So actually, with a combination of CBD and alcohol to start with, I was able to get my yips under control. But teeing off at 9 o'clock in the morning, it was difficult to explain the alcohol. But this was one of the things that I spoke to the chemist about and said, I'm finding that using a combination of the CBD with a depressant is actually keeping me steady on the putting greens. So on the back of that, we added in another cannabinoid called CBG, which is known to influence anxiety. And by using a combination of CBD and CBG, I've managed to pretty much eradicate the yips from my game. Similarly, we work with Dan with the same combination, and as he says, we've had a lot of success. So traveling to the golf course, he's now relaxed. Playing, he's relaxed on the green. He's able to hold those short putts, and that bodes very well for the next year. But the important thing is that we're out there to enjoy it, and a lot of people suffer from these minor physical and mental hang-ups that are a consequence of wanting to perform well, or being in competition. And CBD can get you over those things, so make the game more enjoyable for you again.
So, when you're saying, I had a couple of questions. I was going to say, why golf? But then what is the reason for golf? Just because you play and you've experienced anxiety?
Yeah, as I say, I was familiar with CBD through my daughter. Yeah. I started using it for my own issues on the golf course, and then one day at the roll-up, I found out that the other 3 guys in my 4-ball, elderly guys, were all using CBD, buying it from Holland and Barrett and getting the wellness benefits, finding it was helping their golf as well, keeping them more relaxed on the golf course, keeping them in a better mood. So I got together with a long-term friend of mine, Simon, who actually owns Media Drive, one of the digital advertising agencies in golf, and decided we'd set up the business. He was using CBD as well, so we had a combined interest in the product. We knew it was going to work for golfers, and he had opportunities to advertise the product. So that's where it all started, really, back in middle of 2019.
And what actually in the CBD, apart from just calming the anxiety, do you think actually helps you with the putt? Is it literally more all the mental side? What
it does, CBD affects something called the endocannabinoid system, which we all have, and that governs your reactions to events in life, your emotions. So specifically for golf, we work with 3 main receptors on the golf course. That's stress response, mood, and motor function. So CBD positively influences those emotions while you're out on the golf course. And as we all know, 4 hours on the golf course, you're going to come up against more stressful situations and things that will put you in a bad mood, pressure that will affect your motor function than anywhere else in life. So it's actually the perfect supplement for golfers. Yeah. If you can control your mood while you're out there, stay in a good mood, regardless of what the round throws at you. Be relaxed in stressful situations, and also execute your swing under pressure. Those are things that will improve your score while they're out there. CBD won't improve a swing fall. If you slice it 40 yards right off the tee, then CBD is not going to fix that. You need to go and see your PGA pro, but it will stop you getting annoyed about that 40-yard slice and compounding it with another error. Yeah. So that's what CBD can do. It can give you the platform to it won't turn you into a great golfer overnight, but it will give you a platform to produce your best golf on more occasions.
So Is CBD legal in every country that the European Tour goes to? Because I remember that, and Daniel remember this quite well. Do you remember Red Bull used to sponsor the European Tour?
Yeah.
Banned in France, and then obviously couldn't have it on the tour then. Because I remember I used to work at Wentworth, and we used to, on the scoreboards and stuff, you were probably playing actually, 2008 and 2007 and 8, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then we'd run over and get a load of Red Bulls, and then the year after it stopped. So is it legal in every country, is it?
It's not every European country that these guys go to. It's legal, but yeah, funny story. I actually contacted a European Tour player whose name I won't mention, who was in Dubai recently, and he let me know how he was doing. I said, you haven't taken any CBD with you? Well, I might have done. Yeah. Why is that a problem? I said, yeah, it doesn't go to the Middle East under any circumstances. It's a 4-year prison term, so I think that went in the bin pretty quickly. He still performed well for the week, but yeah, the Middle East is a big no-no for CBD. So you know, the rules and regulations around CBD, some countries are much further advanced than others, and you know, you have to respect those rules. So most of America, I think probably 48 of the states in America, it's legal. Most of the European countries, it's legal. Yeah, just the Middle East to avoid, really.
Yeah,
and Australia.
And Australia. So
why is it illegal in Australia? Is it?
I don't think so, because my dad is wanting to have some, but they can't get it over there. It's all on prescription. I think you have to go to the doctor and get it prescribed properly. So, which is a shame, because he would be loving it right now.
The problem with it is it's still an unregulated market, so there is no way to have your CBD regulated and approved. We're just catching up in the UK. There's something called novel food licenses, which are going to be in effect from the 1st of April, where you have to have a license to produce your CBD. So that will see, you know, a lot of brands will disappear off the market after April, and anybody that's not using a premium extract or is not removing the illegal cannabinoids from their oil won't have the license and won't be able to continue trading. So that's a good step forward for the market. Consumers will be much more confident in what they're buying after April, knowing that you now have to have a license to produce these oils.
Yeah, well, it's interesting you talk there about obviously the cannabis plant and the oils that are extracted from them. So what kind of testing goes in so that you know that the oils that are being extracted into your products are the legal ones and the other ones are getting extracted out?
The best hemp in the world is grown in Colorado. So that's where ours is grown. Perfect growing conditions for hemp plants. The extract is actually produced over there and shipped into the UK, and we have one of the best extracts on the market when it comes in. So we mainly grow a strain called ACDC because it's rich in the other beneficial cannabinoids which help a golfer other than CBD. But when the extract comes over, it then goes through a process called low temperature liquid chromatography to remove the illegal cannabinoids. So the THC is taken out, which is the thing traditionally that makes you stoned from cannabis, and CBN is taken out. So as long as those illegal cannabinoids are removed, there's nothing else in there that's a controlled substance in the UK. But the important thing is, by using the process of extraction that we use, the other beneficial cannabinoids and the other compounds remain in the extract. So it's not only the CBD that's benefiting our players. The CBG is another extremely important cannabinoid, and then you have the phytonutrients, the flavonoids, the terpenes, all of these things that give you the overall feeling of wellness, that contribute to better sleep, increased REM sleep, athletic performance, recovery time, and all the benefits on the golf course of being more relaxed, in a better mood, and controlling your motor function. So it's pretty much an overall supplement for a golfer. It enables you to train harder, to sleep better, to recover quicker, and be in the best state you can be in to execute your game on the golf course.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I don't use the products, or well, I haven't until I've tried some of your stuff. But I've always heard stories about how I use it because it helps me sleep better. So my assumption would be when you compare that with somebody like you just said there, somebody smoking the illegal stuff or taking the illegal stuff to get stoned, for example. I imagine it would make them drowsy, sleepy. So if this is being used to help your performance on the golf course, is there a conflict there, or how does that work?
No, the main thing is the sleep, and this is a really interesting area of research for us at the moment. We get all sorts of different benefits that pros and amateur players report to us, but the one thing that pretty much everybody says is my sleep has improved. I was talking to a pro earlier in the week who we sent some oil to test out, and he'd gone from 1 hour's REM sleep to 3 hours REM sleep in the course of a week of using our CBD oil. And his girlfriend had also told him, you're much more rested in the night. He used to be, his feet would be twitching and he'd be fidgeting and so on. And what it is those we're influencing the receptors that deal with things like stress and anxiety. And if you're stressed and anxious, particularly over this last year where we've been in lockdown, people are stressed, anxious, and not sleeping well. Yeah. If you can reduce those feelings of stress and anxiety, people will sleep better. As I say, it's a new area of research. So we're not even 100% sure at the moment why you get such an increase in REM sleep, but we do know the benefits of it for a golfer. Because if you get sufficient sleep at night, you're going to feel more rested during the day, better prepared for your round of golf. And also the body goes through processes overnight from, if you've been training hard, if you've been hitting balls on the range or working out, you need that good sleep for your body to repair itself and be ready to go again the next day. If you're not sleeping well, you're going to feel fatigued the next day and not able to perform, at your optimum level.
Just like carry on from Mark's question, really. So if you're taking something that's going to get you to sleep, and then you're taking something and you've got to go into the back nine, like that's the thing you're trying to say, wouldn't affect your mental.
No, because it's not like a traditional sleeping tablet that will knock you out. What we're doing is more putting you in a state to sleep peacefully. So by reducing the stress and anxiety of life, you're sleeping better, you're sleeping deeper. You're getting your rapid eye movement sleep, your REM sleep, which is the thing that makes you feel most rested the following day. So whether we're relaxing you at night time to sleep or relaxing you into the back nine, that's the point of the CBD. It is to reduce the feelings of stress and anxiety and put you in a mood where you can focus, on the job at hand, whether it's on the golf course, or make you relaxed enough to get really good sleep of a night time, which has enormous benefits for your mental and physical well-being anyway. But certainly for a golfer, if you've been training hard in the run up to a tournament, the last thing you want is to be awake all night worrying about your tee time the next day or your first shot or whether you're going to earn enough money to pay the bills that week. You need to be rested on the tee, feeling focused, calm, and ready to go. And that's what we're trying to do with our pros.
Yeah, well, that's it. So say, like, I know it's obviously got no addictive properties, has it? Like CBD, not like
no, nothing in there addictive at all. No.
But say Daniel then, he becomes reliant on it when he's going down the last 4 holes, and then all of a sudden he goes to Dubai, and it's a bigger money tournament, and then you can't use the CBD. How are you going to conquer that, Daniel?
I haven't really thought about that just yet. But if I'm in the last 4 holes and I'm doing all right, I think your mind just takes over anyway. It's one of those things where you're in a good state already, if you know what I mean. Like if you're competing in Dubai and you're about to win a tournament, those things that Andrew has just said, you're in the great state of mind anyway, whether you're taking the CBD or not. When you're away, it's probably difficult. When you're in those situations, when you go to Dubai or stuff like that, I would mainly probably lose out on sleep, which is the bigger thing for me.
Yeah,
the REM sleep that Andrew was talking about, and I was the perfect example. I went from hardly any of that to quite high. Obviously, it doesn't happen every night, but the better routine you have when you're in the sleep and you're taking the product, your REM's better, so you wake up more refreshed and you're ready to go for the next day. Going back to the question of being in Dubai, I have no idea how I would have to deal with that, but I have played golf before, and it's just one of those things where you will have to cope. Yeah. And hope you have to cope. It's just one of those things. golf's a stressful thing anyway. But hopefully, in the near future, they can get the product approved over there as well.
That's the same sort of question for you, Andy. It's like if you're pushing it to the tour, and then all of a sudden players are starting to rely on it, and then they can't take it. It's a bit of a nightmare for you, isn't it?
Sorry, why wouldn't they be able to take it?
Because they're in Dubai or whatever, or they're in Australia.
I see what you mean. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. The local you have to stick by the local rules. So there's plenty enough events in America and Europe to not have to worry too much about it. But yeah, unfortunately, in the Middle East at the moment, it's not worth a 4-year prison sentence, whatever numbers you're going to shoot.
Definitely not. Well, talk to us a bit, Andy, about the different products that you do. We've mentioned there about the oils, but looked on the website. There's a number of different products, and what are
we CBD is the same whichever form you're taking it in, but we offer edibles. So we've got capsules, we've got gummies, we've got jelly domes. We've got 3 or 4 strengths of oil. We've got a spray that again goes under your tongue, and we've also got some body salves that are great for localized pain. Has some really good feedback on those products. The main difference is how much of it makes it into your bloodstream, which is called the bioavailability of CBD. If it goes in through your digestive system, obviously it has to travel through your body, so you don't get quite as much CBD into the bloodstream, and it takes about 45 minutes to start to affect you. If you take the oils or the sprays, that's sublingually under your tongue, so you put the drops under your tongue, hold it for 45 seconds to enable absorption into your bloodstream through the saliva, and then you'll get the effects in about 5 to 10 minutes. So if you prefer the gummies and you're one of these people that can plan ahead and you're teeing off in 45 minutes to an hour's time, that's great. If you're not, you're like me, you arrive at the golf course, fall out the car onto the first tee and you've forgotten, then a few drops under the tongue and you're ready and not ready to go straight away. Actually, the best, we don't promote the vaping because of the smoking connotations, but the best way to take CBD is vaping, because it goes in through the surface of your lungs, so you get more CBD into your system through vaping than any other method, and that's what Dan will be using this year, I think.
Yeah.
Is that what I've seen? Afi Barnrad has a big vape on him, doesn't he? Is that like he's probably on the same sort of thing, is he? Or he could be smoking anything, really.
I don't know. I haven't seen to it. We're working with a few European tour guys now. I haven't actually seen any of them vaping on the course, but maybe he knows a bit more than other people, and he's taking it the right way.
Getting advantage. Talk to us about some of the players that you are working with, the people that you can talk about.
Sure. We've got players on every tour now except the PGA Tour, which has been great. We've tied up with Katrina Matthew, as you would have seen. Katrina first contacted us in the middle of last year. She was having a few anxiety issues, getting the club away from the ball and just these things that tend to happen as you get a bit older. So we sent her some product up and said, look, we'd be grateful just to have your feedback. We're in an R&D stage. We're trying to improve our products, and any feedback we can get from elite level players like you is fantastic to us. Same work I'm doing with Dan. So originally we set up with that as the arrangement. Katrina's been very kind. We've given us feedback. Obviously, we haven't been able to get so much on the golf course yet because of the situation. But she does a Peloton session with some of the other tour pros, and I think she's moved up the rankings quite significantly on that. So athletic performance is better, her sleep has been better, recovery is faster. So all of these things have been great while she's not been on the course, and we're very excited to see what will happen with the oils when she gets back out competing.
Yeah,
we're working with a number of senior tour pros as well now. Dan's introduced me to a few players. Andy Olcombe's the only one I can mention at the moment. Okay. But Andy's on a CBD routine now. Again, getting a little bit older. I think he's 60 or so. Dan, is he, Andy?
Yeah, he would be. Yeah, around that. Yeah.
Yeah. So a few aches and pains, and and he's. I wouldn't say this, but I've been told he's a little bit Tyrrell Hatton, maybe gets a little bit grumpy sometimes out on the golf course. So he'll be taking the oils and hopefully, keep him calm, relaxed, focused, able to deal with stress. and produce some good numbers. So we're looking forward to working with a lot of these guys over the coming year to really start to see what effect we can have on their scoring average. It's great that they're sleeping better and they're recovering quicker and training harder and in a good situation to produce their best golf on the course. But ultimately, it's going to be that scoring average. So I've got half a dozen players on the Clutch Pro Tour. Got all their scoring averages from last year. And we'll put them all on a CBD routine and assess them throughout the year. Maybe change the formula around a bit, change the dosage, get them to optimum performance levels, and then compare their scores at the end of the year and see how we've done.
Talk us through a CBD routine then. Like, well, sort of what you would put a player on. Like, how would it, like, because you've sent us the products, haven't you? So when the golf course open, we try one.
So most people take an edible in the morning and the evening, and then the oils or sprays for training or playing. So that might be 20 milligrams in the morning, which can be a couple of sweets, 3 or 4 drops. Most of our pros are on the 2000 mg oil, so 2, 3, 4 drops when they're playing golf, maybe a top up halfway round. And then afterwards, normally there'd be some balm, on the legs, or if they have any injuries, to aid recovery. And then maybe a sweet or a couple of capsules again in the evening to aid good sleep. So that's the kind of routine that the guys are on. Most of them, feeling much better than they have done in years, particularly the senior tour players that we're working with. So we're quite excited about what effect that's going to have on the golf course when we get going.
Would that be every day then?
That's every day. Yeah, we're obviously supporting these guys, so they don't have the financial implications that there are for other people. But you can have a CBD routine without needing to take CBD 3 or 4 times a day. If you're just starting off, then my recommendation is to have a little bit in the evenings to help you sleep. That's the most important thing, and our most extensive area of research is to see the impact that the better sleep has on players, and then obviously a little bit of the golf course. They're the 2 key areas. If you sleep well and you feel rested, and you get the physical and mental benefits from sleeping well, that puts you in great shape to go to the golf course. And then a few drops just to keep you relaxed, focused, and in the best state to produce your game when you're there.
Have you worked from the seniors down to sort of combat the injuries, so then the younger boys can be like, well, if he's still swinging, I can still be swinging?
No, we work with a whole range of players, youngsters just starting out on the minor tours, up through European Tour, Ladies European Tour, and now a lot of seniors. There's clearly huge benefits for senior players, because that's the time of life when you're going to feel the aches and pains. And when you get a bit more nervous as well. None of us are nervous over putts when we're 15, 20 years old, but by the time you're 40 or 50 and you've missed a few of them, that's when the anxiety kicks in, isn't it? So our main priority is to make golf enjoyable for older players. If they've got aches and pains, or they have to be in a buggy, if we can get players out of a buggy and walking the course again, or we can get them enjoying their game more, dealing with any psychological issues, yips, chipping issues, is something I've suffered with, and some of the older guys at my place suffer with. These are the kind of things that we can help with. And if by the end of the year we've helped a bunch of amateur players enjoy their golf more, then we've done a good job.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then when we talk about the drug testing part of everything, so like I mentioned before about there's a stigma with sometimes with the CBD, because you're talking about cannabis and the illegal element of a cannabis plant. You put that through rigorous testing, do you, before it goes out there, so that if the professionals are to get drugs tested?
We do, absolutely. When we set the company up, I visited a number of suppliers, but actually some friends of mine set up a company called Love Hemp in 2015. So that's the supplier we work with, LH Botanicals. They're one of the biggest brands in the UK. They're in Tesco's, Sainsbury's, Holland and Barrett, WH Smith Travel. They're in all the high street names, one of the safest and most respected CBD products on the market. So we decided to work with them, as their friends. They've given us access to their senior chemist. So my job is to to meet with him, to tell him what problems us amateurs have, to tell him what problems that the pros are having, to explain the problems that the senior players have. And then he will produce the formulas for us to try and target those specific areas that people struggle with. So this is the future for us, is not just to put CBD on the shelves, is actually to tailor the different CBD oils using the other cannabinoids and the other compounds as we start to understand them more, and produce a range of oils that will target specific issues that players have. So that's where we're hoping to be, you know, in a year to 18 months time. But all the time that we're collecting data and able to experiment with different formulas, we're gaining that knowledge, and you know, we put it into practice when we know where we're going.
I've had a couple of CBD coffees and a few CBD waters and different things like that, a sort of market, because obviously golfers take water with them, don't they, when they're going round?
I tasted some CBD water a little while back, and I didn't like it at all. I think with anything you're asking people to consume on a regular basis, it has to taste nice. And our oil's lovely. Hopefully Dan would agree. Our oil's mint flavoured.
It's lovely, the mint one, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know whether you tried the jelly domes, but they're quite nice just to eat of an evening, aren't they?
But, that's the problem, though, isn't it?
That definitely would be. Yeah, I struggle to put a packet of jellies down, to be honest. So
yeah, but this stuff has to be nice to consume. There are some CBD oils out there that don't have a great aftertaste, and you know, you don't want to have to take something that's hard to consume. So that was one of the first things we looked at with the guys at LH Botanicals was that, you know, what products have you got? What's going to work for a golfer? What will fit in a golf bag? What's going to be a good dose for players on the way round? And that was the starting point. I think now we've got quite a nice range. We'll be adding to the range throughout the year, bringing out some different flavours and some different products. But we're looking at topicals as well at the moment. So roll on, you know, face creams. We're doing some work with Katrina on a small range in her name. So yeah, it's exciting times.
So Daniel, then what do you take in your bag? Then obviously you talked about the CBD day. Like typically, are you on that high sort of dosage, or what do you?
No. Well, that was a lot of the experimenting that me and Andy done just after the first lockdown came. You know, we were on the course quite a bit, me and him, and we were trying to figure out dosages. For me, what's best. It is trial and error at the start, but basically what I do now is I have one capsule in the morning. I don't even have that much. It's one capsule in the morning, and then I'll have 2 drops of the 2000 mgs at night time, about half an hour before bed. And that's my day usually done. So I'm not on stupid amount of CBD. I have the balm as well, which I'll, you know, if I'm feeling a little run down, I'll just rub it over my face and sleep with it on. It's just quite nice to maybe use it as a moisturizer, really, for me. Obviously everyone else is different. And then when I get to the golf course, I've started with the vape. You know, I used to smoke, but I've given that up for probably 6 or 7 years now. And the only reason I'm doing the vape is because it's nicotine free, so I'm not going to get addicted to anything, which I haven't. And because I have been trying the vape, I can put it down whenever I want. So I just leave the vape to the golf course, leave it in the car, charged up, ready to go for the next day. And I don't even think about going back to it during the day, you know, having a drink at home or, you know, at work. It's just purely for the golf course. So yeah, I'm not on a great amount of CBD, but the amount that we've figured out, me and Andy, for me, is the best dosage for me, and that's where I'm performing my best with my sleep and on the golf course, and pretty much everyday life, really. It's you know, I've been a lot happier, and obviously sleeping better is obviously the big part of it, but yeah, I'm a lot more chilled out because of all that as well.
Excellent stuff. You spoke there about how it's helped your putting, and that's obviously now that was the strongest part of the game. But overall game, how's it impacted your score?
Consistency wise, I think it's my scores have come down. You know, we really started to get into it. What was it, Andy? Just after the first lockdown?
Yeah, I would say I went and watched down in the final round of the Tour Championships at Berkhamsted last year, Clutch Pro Tour finals, and I think you were 3 or 4 under around the front line, wasn't it? 4 under around the front line. Dropped a couple of shots around about 11 and 13, and that's the point where sometimes amateurs would be starting to lose their way a bit and thinking about blowing their card. Dan was on CBD and CBG that day. And I think you came back birdied 16 and 18, didn't you, to finish 5 under and second place. So that was really interesting for me to watch that firsthand. Yeah. And I think that's something that gets on top of amateurs. When a round starts to slip away, you might be, a couple under your handicap with half a dozen holes to go, make a double, and then blow your card. If you can stay calm, relaxed, this is the things with the stress response and the mood. If you get in stressful situations like that, or a double bogey that might put you in a bad mood, if you can leave that behind you, stay calm, stay focused, move ahead, keep executing your swing, you can still turn it around and get those scores in. So watching pros do it, very interesting for me, and that's something we'll try and get over to amateurs, that this is something that can help you with that, to keep you in the present, keep you focused, keep you relaxed, and enable you to get your score into the clubhouse and achieve the best scores you can.
Yeah, that was probably one of the main notices I had on the golf course, and I said this to Andy straight away, is that I was able to come in and out of a good state, so I can hit my shot, have a bit of a laugh with my playing partners, take all the pressure off and the stresses off during my walk down to the golf ball, and then once was my turn to play again, I was switched on very, very, very quickly, which is something I was lacking for a long time, where I was just sort of daydreaming around the golf course and not having that, the fire or, the ability to switch myself back on and get into the zone to play the next shot. So with the CBD and the CBG that we were testing, I was able to come in and out of the zone a lot quicker. So, which helped me at the end of the day. I wasn't so tired. I can just walk around the golf course and then come after the round and still do stuff at home with the kids and stuff like that, rather than just going straight to bed or anything like that, because I wasn't so tired, because I wasn't switched on the whole time. I was able to switch on and off very quickly.
Again, that's one of the areas we don't really understand yet, is the benefits to concentration and focus. But it's fascinating to listen to Dan, that you can't concentrate for 4 hours. One of the crucial things for pros is to be able to relax in between shots, but then be acutely focused when it's time to hit your shot. And then that was something we've achieved. So great progress.
I'm imagining it, I'm coming down 14, I'm a couple under my handicap, and I'm like Popeye's spinach. I'm just like, I'm going to scale home.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you don't need to take lots, and it's like anything. If it's doing you good, it is tempting to just keep taking more and more, but you don't need to. And as Dan was saying, I've got one of the best jobs in the world. I get to go and give these pros different amounts of CBD and add little other cannabinoids in and different compounds and go out and then watch them play golf and play myself. And it's fascinating work. And with pretty much everyone I've worked with so far, we've been able to have some benefit or another. So yeah, very exciting year ahead.
No, definitely. I took some, as you say, taking more and more. I had a few drops the other night because I was a bit restless, and I was like dead chilled. And then I woke up, and then I went to the toilet, and then I got back into bed, and I was like, I started getting a bit restless again, and I went for it again. I thought, whoa, I need to like relax on that.
Everyone's got their own, it's referred to a little bit as a sweet spot. Everyone's got their own sweet spot. So we start people off with a low dose, and then you build that up yourself until you hit the optimum level for you. There's no dosage instructions. Was one of the things I found very difficult when I first started my daughter on CBD. So that's been a key area of research for us, is to understand what the issues are, whether it's an amateur or a pro. Then start off on a certain dose, build that up until we get to the point where those symptoms have dissipated enough to be able for the pro or the player to be able to execute their game. So we don't suggest just keep taking more and more and more. That you reach a certain level where any more that you put in is not actually going to be having any effect.
Yeah.
So that there is a maximum dose. But as we collect that data, we're much better placed to give people dosage instructions from the start based on the problem they're having.
And what about tolerance? What about people's, like, you know, obviously if it doesn't have an effect anymore and you need to have a stronger dosage?
No, well, in my experience, you know, I've been using it myself now for a couple of years, and you don't build up a tolerance. Right. As I say, there's nothing addictive in there, and there's no tolerance. So, once you reach that certain level that works for you, that should become your daily dose.
Amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah. So Andy, we spoke there briefly about the what you want to achieve with the different products and stuff. So what does the future hold for Golfers CBD? What's the goal in the coming months?
I think for us, the majority of problems for a golfer revolve around anxiety, whether it's on the way to the golf course or whether it's on the golf course, over chips and putts, or whether it's closing your round out. However it manifests itself, most of it is anxiety based. So if we can remove anxiety from as many players' games as possible, that's going to lead to them getting a lot more enjoyment for their golf. It's going to lead to our pros shooting better scores. But, you know, as I say, having been through something like the yips myself, it almost stopped me playing. And if you're going to the golf course and you're fearing something, whatever it is, you know, whether it's a shot in front of a crowd of people on the first tee, or it's a chip you don't like, or a putt, we all have those shots we walk up to and we don't like. And if you can keep yourself calm, relaxed, and execute that shot, then you feel it's an achievement. So for me, the best thing we could do this year is get the CBD out to as wider audience as possible, get people engaged, get people to try it, and enjoy the benefits in their golf game. And if that leads to people enjoying their golf more, then we've done a good job.
Yeah. Do you know, with the whole Speak Up campaign, when if men are struggling with the mental health and different things, and they're advised to go and talk about it, but a lot of people don't talk about it. So do you have like some sort of questionnaire form that people fill in, or like, so how does the process go to actually approach a player? Because it's hard to admit.
Yeah,
isn't it?
That's a really good point. You know, guys and golfers that don't really want to talk about their weakness, do they? So we're actually building a little shopping assistant to go on our website at the moment, which will become known as your friendly caddy. And it starts off with, you know, have you ever used CBD? And then what are you hoping CBD will help with? And there'll be options like, you know, I'm a bit wobbly over my putting, or I have back pain, or I don't sleep too well. And then, you know, how would you like to take CBD capsules, gummies? And then based on the back end software, that will then recommend some products for somebody to take. So whereas, you know, a player might not go in and talk to their pro about issues they're having with regards to anxiety or certain situations on the golf course, they'll be able to log on to our website or log on through the pro shop on a tablet or a phone, and actually use a virtual shopping assistant, which will help them make an educated purchase.
It'd be nice if more PGA pros were armed with the knowledge, and they were armed with the, like, you could actually do with some of this. Do you know what I mean? And like,
well, we're working with a huge number of PGA pros now. Yeah. We're backed by Foremost Golf this year. We've signed a partnership with them. So we're talking to a lot of pro shops at the moment. A lot of them supporting us to stock our products in the new year. So yeah, that ultimately, you know, they're the ones that can help us really get out there and into the minds of the members. Foremost have a great marketing network. We can provide all sorts of case studies and background information on the products into their inboxes each week. And they can get to know, you know, feel comfortable that CBD is just another supplement that's available to them, and can have all sorts of positive impacts on their golf game. So this will be a big year. You'll see CBD cropping up in pro shops all over the place this year, and I think it will become a fairly mainstream treatment inside and outside of golf.
Along the lines of the mental health issues as well, I would just want to put it out there that if there is people listening to this and are struggling with the mental health, I've struggled majorly during lockdown. I've spoke to Andy about it. The CBD's definitely helped, but if anyone is listening, they can always call me, message me, get me through Andy, whatever. I'm always there to help people chat, get anything off their chest and anything like that. If I can help in any way, I will. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Fantastic. Well, one of the nicest comments we got from one of our pros was that look, your products go beyond the golf course. This is a pro we're working with who has had, quite significant anxiety issues, and we got together for golf reasons. But yeah, that was one of the nicest comments we'd had, that this person's not taking the other medications anymore because the CBD has worked so well for them. So to have those benefits, this wasn't what we set the company up for, but those are great benefits and great feedback we get, very rewarding.
No, definitely, because like you say, by the just off listening to you both speak there, it's obvious it's not just about the golf course; it's a lifestyle change as well. If you're getting better sleep, it leads on to better moods, and then if you can get a better golf game and enjoy your golf game, it's a sport we all love. We're all passionate about it, so we know how frustrating it can be. So yeah, it's amazing what you guys are doing. Yeah.
There's lots of benefits for your golf, yeah, but you're spot on. There's lots of benefits away from the golf course as well. Because of the cannabis connotations, CBD hasn't become a mainstream treatment for things as soon as it should have done. But that is now happening. We're moving on. People are becoming more educated. It's not about getting stoned or having the munchies. This stuff really does work for a range of issues, particularly mental health. As I said, epilepsy from my own experience. The benefits on the golf course. There's all sorts of things. We've got a pro up in Manchester who's been working with us, and was suffering with multiple sclerosis, so having terrible spasms and some psoriasis and so on. We've had him on our CBD for a couple of months now, and it's changed his world around. He's much more relaxed. The spasms have subsided. The psoriasis is clearing up. So, and on the back of that, we've had other customers come to us and say, look, I've never played golf in my life, but what would you recommend for me? What combination is this guy on? And yeah, we're picking up customers and helping people that way as well. So although we've stuck ourselves in a golf niche because it's something we understand our market, we understand the issues that we're trying to solve. Yes, CBD is going to become a mainstream treatment for all sorts of things this year. So we're certainly open to talking to people. Well, if you're a golfer or not, we're happy to give the advice and to help wherever we can.
You need to have a little thing under the CBD, not just for golf, and then break other markets.
We've you'll be seeing CBD cropping up all over the place now. It's in the petrol station. It's in all the shops. It's you can't go online without seeing a CBD advert now. So everybody's jumping on the bandwagon. There's lots of different CBDs out there, but we started this because it was helping. It was helping family. It was helping our golf games, and we knew that it'd be something that would be excellent to help people's golf. So it's very exciting.
Yeah, it's good that you put your daughter on it and stuff like that, because my mum got sick a couple of years ago, and we obviously the stigma around it is it's cannabis, it's weed, it's wacky backy and all this sort of stuff. And then we actually started putting my mum on it. She had psoriasis, arthritis, and Guillain-Barré syndrome, which is like a autoimmune disease from the brain. And since she had that, like the pain relief went down. Like everything just started, like she's been on it ever since, and they all started, the older generation who were against it are now starting to turn and be like, wow, it's real stuff, this, do you know what I mean? Which is, it's boss to see, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, it's fantastic. And like I say, that was another key influencer for me, was finding out that the three guys I was playing golf with in a Wednesday roll-up at my club were all using CBD. All off down Holland and Barrett and raving about the wellness benefits and the improvements in their golf. So yeah, it's great that people have access to a natural treatment. To painkillers and sleeping pills and these kind of things are, serve a purpose. But if you can find a natural remedy that helps you with better sleep or to deal with your pain, then it has to be a better way forward.
Definitely. And Daniel, so yeah, I've noticed there that you said that you quit smoking 6 years ago, and then you got the yips 6 years ago. Did they colorate with each other?
No, I had the yips while I was smoking as well. No, it just come to a stage where I was smokers would know you're traveling week in, week out, and you're in a different hotel and the morning cigarette was always the one that you enjoyed the most because you can have it with a coffee. But when I was away, I was having 5 in the morning and 5 coffees before I even went up to get changed to go to the golf course. So I was in Kazakhstan and missed the cut, went out, felt rough, woke up the next morning, did exactly the same thing, and I just like, you know what, this is really, really killing me now, and I can't do it anymore. And I just basically said to my mate that I was traveling with, I said, you can have all the cigarettes that we've just bought because they're only about 20p over there. Said, you can have them all. As soon as I get on that plane, I'm not going to touch it again, and I haven't for some reason. So,
Wow.
yeah, it was. I tried to quit many times before, but it was always I tried it with the patches and I tried it with other stuff. So I was always waking up going, oh, I need to take that to stop smoking. It was always in the back of my mind, where this time I just quit cold turkey, just went with it, and it's worked properly this time. So I'm never really thinking about it, and yeah, it's the vaping. That's why I went to the vaping, because I had smoked before and I knew what it sort of done by going through the lungs and stuff like that. But I know that it's got no nicotine in it, so that's the addictive part for me. Probably the same with cannabis. The THC is the addictive part, and I didn't want to get addicted to vaping or going back, because I thought if I got addicted to it, I'd go back to smoking, and I haven't. So that's the main reason why I'm doing the vaping as well, and it's obviously the better way for me to get it into my system.
And then, so you say you've took a bit of time away from golf, and then you come back, and then so now the CBD is going to obviously help kickstart your career again. Like, do you put that a lot of it down? You're going to put a lot of it down to that, to the finding the CBD?
Yeah, I think so. I've obviously had the anxieties for a while, and the stress, and a little bit of the mental health for a while, and I gave up 2017. Financially, I wasn't in a great spot, and then I went back I was on the main tour, and then dropped back to Challenge Tour, and was grinding my butt off, and you make a cut, and then you still sort of only just finishing square at the end of the week, or losing money, and I just like, I just can't keep doing that. So when I came back, I still have those pressures of having to put food on the table for the kids and the family, and pay the mortgage and stuff like that. So I've still got those anxieties, but that's why I reached out with Andy, because I knew, and I'd gone to the doctors, the tour doctors, and I was trying to get on stuff that was going to help me. But then I got prescribed a beta blocker years ago, and obviously I can't take that because of drug testing and all that sort of stuff. And I just thought, I just can't keep doing that. So I went with the natural remedy, which was the CBD, through Andy, and it's paid dividends.
Brilliant. I hope it carries become a successful partnership, and it's and this is one of many, one comeback story, but then one of many success stories with the CBD. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't wait to see the journey.
That's what we're hoping for. I'm going to be supporting Dan closely this year, because if he ends up back on the European tour with our help, then it's a great reference for us. So I've watched him play. He's a fantastic player. And like anyone, it's just these little mental or physical issues that can get in the way. If CBD can get you over that and get you in a state to play your best golf, then you've got a real chance. So I'm expecting, not to put him under any pressure, but I'm expecting big things this year.
I expect the same thing, so don't worry.
That's good. Hey, do you know what? Another success story. Mark's a bit of a legend around here for being 6 over through the first 6 holes. So if he has a little drop on the first, then
that's
he
what
does.
I'm looking forward to most. Yeah.
What's the handicap, boys?
I'm off 5. Kev's 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Off 1.
Yeah.
Excellent. Good players.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it works for you. Whether we can get that 1 to +1 and get the 5 down to scratch. It'd be fascinating to hear. We're doing case studies with all levels of players with all sorts of different problems. But this is the great thing. It can help players at Dan's level. Pros, but it can also help your 28 handicapper, or that player that's trying to break 100 for the first time, gets a bit nervous, needs a couple of bogeys to finish to break 100 for the first time. It can help them as well. So it's the whole spectrum of golfers, from elite level pros up to new beginners.
Yeah, you'll definitely be in about my first 6 holes anyway, I'll give you that.
I just can't wait for the 29th of March to give it a little whale out there, to be honest.
I know, looking forward.
Yeah.
It's not long now, is it? I think we're all desperate to get back out there.
That's it.
I'll start having a bit of a listen to your podcast in the evening anyway. Now I know you, so
Yeah, go on.
great
Let us
stuff.
know what you think.
Let us know. Yeah, any feedback's welcome as well. And Daniel, you can listen to the professional route and see how we do. If you want to, you can jump on and freeball. It's up to you.
Yeah. Let me know. I'm usually free after work, so around this time.
Perfect.
No worries. Well, it's been a pleasure speaking to you.
Pleasure,
gents.
boys. Loved it.
Andrew, thanks very much for having us on. Thanks,
Thanks,
Dante.
Ed.
No,
Thanks, Andy.
Take care.
All right, be in touch.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Feels a bit of a healthy breeze right here, so. Oh, we topped it. He cold topped it. Okay. Gotta get up. Yeah. Date iron. Oh, we shanked it. Oh, look at that line, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, boy, is he on the sink.